Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a Siren Head chasing a school bus statue. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please do remember to hit that like button as it really helps me and the channel out very much. But without any further ado, let's get started. Here are all of the materials that you will need to make your statue. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. And now that we have all of our stuff, we can get started. We're going to begin by placing a single brown concrete on the ground. Leave a gap of one going left, place another brown concrete. Leave a gap of 2, 1, 2. Place another brown concrete. Leave a gap of 1, place a brown concrete. Extend the brown concretes backwards by 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Connect the back two pairs of brown concretes together, just like this. So now we have to extend the legs up a little bit. So starting with this right foot, we're going to take the back right two blocks and extend them up by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the same with the row behind. We also want to do the same thing on the opposite side of the leg. We want to extend all of these blocks upwards, and we want to mirror this onto the opposite leg as well. So we just want to have something that should look like that. That's perfect. So we're now going to connect these together at the top using black terracotta. So this is just going to join together at the top just like this. We have to make some bends in the legs, so these are kind of like the knee area-ish, and we have to make the upper leg leading up to the hip area. So we're going to take the back corners of the legs and we're going to place a brown concrete, back, up, back, up, back, up, back, up, back. So we should have something which should look a little something like this. So not only do we want to do this, but we want to do the same thing on the opposite side of the leg here. And you guys might already be able to tell what's going to come after this. We're going to then mirror this onto the opposite leg. So we want to have the exact same thing. We just want to have something which should look like this. So this is perfect. Nice. Okay, so if you like, you can connect these together at the top, these entire sort of like leg areas like this. You then want to add brown concrete on top of the legs, spanning from left to right, okay? So this is where the top of the leg connects, and there we have the extra row on top. The extra row, we want to extend forwards a row, backwards a row, and then outwards a row, if that makes sense. So essentially we just want to have it be an extra row outwards on pretty much every single side. Okay, then we want to add 3 more rows on top of this. So that's going to be like 1, 2, 3. So 3 more rows on top of this. We're going to have 3 rows in total. And that's just all the way around the edge. So it's going to be 4 rows high in total. And this is going to be, I suppose you could call this like the hip area. Oh, we also have to fill the top in as well, so we are sort of just making a box like so. Perfect. And what we now have to do is we have to extend the front of this. We want to take the left and right sides, and we want to extend the end 2 rows forward. So just by a row like that, and it's kind of like, I don't know what, kind of like the hip bones that stick up. I mean, the anatomy is similar to a human, but I'm not quite sure what you would call it. I guess it's hips. So we're now going to take black terracotta, and we're going to take the middle 4 rows here, if this makes sense. So kind of like the middle 4 rows of sort of the hips, the front. And we want to create a kind of like checkered pattern using a mix of black terracotta and brown. And we want to extend this left and right, so we want to continue the pattern by an additional 1 on sort of like both sides. And we want to have a row of 7 of this in total. So now that we've already got 1 row, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. and we want to do this for every single row. So it might be easier just to alternate. I was initially just going to extend every single color, kind of like, you know, individually forwards, but I figured that well, now I am doing exactly that, but it really doesn't matter as long as the whole thing gets extended. I'm doing the exact same thing that I said that I wasn't going to do. Okay, so now that we've done that, we have to make, and by the way, anatomically this doesn't make sense, but it looks better this way. We're kind of going to connect kind of like these, I'll call this the spinal column, maybe. We want to, on top of this, place a row of brown concrete, right? Just straight up on top of the end. We want to then take the middle, and we want to extend it up by 2 rows. 1, 2, and then we want to extend this row left and right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we've got to extend it down. So I actually don't have the figure for what we have to extend it down, but we can work it out. So we want to extend this down by 1, 2, make an indentation, 1, 2, make an indentation, 1, 2, make an indentation. And that should actually be pretty good. So I want you to extend the brown concretes over to the left, like this. And what I mean by that is when we marked out like the indentations, so to speak, it's basically like the rib cage, because that's sort of like what this is. So we want to kind of like create a rib cage sort of look. We also want to have brown concrete that runs directly down the middle, sort of like this. We're going to take the corners of this and we're going to extend it forwards by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. The entire bottom and top of Siren Head can be extended forwards by 5 rows in total, but the sides are a completely different story. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we want to join the corners down like this. And we want to take the middle blocks and we want to extend them upwards. We want to create a separation. And we want to extend the ribs through as well. So again, the indentations that we made, the markers, we want to just extend all the way through. And this will just create the rib cage. Now, it will be easier if you leave one side open. And basically, the goal here is to just place a bunch of black terracotta, like this. And the black terracotta sits directly behind the holes that we have for the ribs. So, like this, and like this, and here, here, oh, hang on, no, here, here, and here. Nice. So, from the outside, basically, we're looking for this, and once again, you know, let's not consider anatomy. Let's not consider what this should look like. Let's consider what it does look like. So, we want to add the... well, I guess we can preemptively, like, if we preemptively add in these horizontal rows of brown concrete and terracotta, we want to have something which should look like that. And again, you know, the chest and that probably shouldn't be in this position, but it looks cool. So now that we've done this, we have to add the head. I mean, you know, Siren Head, has got a head. So the top of the statue, we want to find the middle 4 blocks, so kind of like a square. We want to raise these blocks up, and we want to create a layer of 3, so we want to create a row of 3. We then want to take the edges of this, so the left, front, back, we want to extend the sides of this 1 row outwards to kind of create a plus shape like so. And then we want to take the middle 2x2 square and we want to extend it up by 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. By the way, I have considered 12, so I think I'm going to try it. 10, 11, 12. So initially it's 9, this is 12. It might look better with only 9. Maybe we should have started with 9, I don't know. But let's see if this looks a little bit too weird. I don't know whether this is going to be too tall. Okay, so I think that looks weird. Okay, I'm going to take 3 layers off. I'm going to take 3 layers off. Never mind. I don't like it like that. Okay, so I'm going to grab the black concrete. We are going to place black concrete. We're going to leave a gap of 2 on the right side coming down. And then we're going to place a 2x2 square of black concrete like this. And we're going to, on this side here, I think that, will we make this lower down? We'll make this lower down. So on the opposite side, kind of like just 2 rows lower than what we've made, but kind of not 2 rows lower. It's just, if you can see what I mean, like it alternates, it goes down diagonally. We want to have another row of 2. So this right side here, what we essentially want to do is we want to make a cone using black concrete. It's just one row of black concrete, kind of like just around the outside of the initial row, just kind of like this. Boom. And then on the opposite side here, it's a bit different. So we start off using the exact same thing. So we don't want the by the way, we don't want the middle bit filled in, but we do just have to place blocks just to make this a little bit easier. So we just want to have this. And then we're going to have like another cone on the outside. So then we're going to have a layer of black concrete that goes all the way around the outside of this. So just like, oh, my bad. So here, here, and here. Good. So what that ends up looking like is this. And I'm not 100%, and this is why I wasn't sure whether to elongate the pole up here at the top. Like, maybe one row isn't too weird looking, but maybe, I don't know. I mean, I'm quite happy with how that looks now. So maybe just another row. Shall we try it with another row? Maybe 3 isn't... I know that we're 1 row off of 3, like it probably shouldn't make too much of a difference, but let's take a look at that. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. I'm quite pleased with that. So now that we have the main bulk of the statue complete, what we're now going to do is we are going to add the arms. So the arms are going to, of course, be on the left and right sides, and we're going to take the middle rows of the arms and we're going to place a brown concrete on top of the 2 middle blocks, and then we're going to have a row of brown concrete underneath and outside, okay? So what we're then going to do is extend this row here, this front row, we're going to extend this down by 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We then want to extend the block forwards by 2. 1, 2. And then we are going to take this 13th block and we're going to place a diagonal inwards brown concrete. And we want to extend it down by 2. 1, 2. And we also want to have like a diagonal outwards brown concrete, so like this. And we're going to extend this block backwards, and essentially we want to leave a gap, we want to maintain a gap of 1 between this and the previous row that we've basically just made, and it wants to connect all the way back up to the top here. And it just wants to look a little something like that. So we then want to come to the end of the hand, and we've got a row of 3, so we want to take the middle row, we want to take the middle block, extend it inwards by 1, 2. This bottom block here, we want to hang a block off of the bottom of it, extend inwards, and we want to take this top block and we want to extend a block up, like we want to extend a block up and out from it, and extend the block left 1, and then we want to have like a diagonal block. So essentially, it kind of looks like the number 9, so we want to have this. We then want to come to the opposite side and we want to do the exact same thing. So we want to have like 2 blocks just here on the middle, and then we want to have 2 blocks underneath, kind of like out. We then want to take this front block and we want to extend down by 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Extend forwards by 2. 1, 2. We then want to place a block outwards diagonally from that second block. We then want to extend down by 2. 1, 2. And then we want to extend another block kind of like outwards and diagonally, but back in the original direction. And then take this singular block and we want to extend it backwards. And we want to maintain that gap of 1, the exact same thing that we did on the opposite side there, coming all the way back up to the top of the statue, which gives us this sort of shape right here. So all we have to do is make the fingers. So we'll take this middle block here and we'll extend it right by 1, 2. We'll take the bottom block here and we'll extend a block like downwards diagonally and extend it by right. And we will do the same thing up top as well, up to the right, and then we'll simply add a diagonal. So we just want to have something which should look like this. So now that we've done this, we now have to make the bust, because as you might realise, Siren Head, kind of a silly position just to sort of like be stood in just naturally like this. It looks a little bit weird, but we can make it look a little bit better by grabbing the yellow concrete, and we want to take the middle finger and place a row of yellow concrete between the middle fingers. We then want to take the row of yellow concrete, extend it forwards by 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's of course, just both sides. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So 4 rows in total, extending forwards. We want to extend it backwards by 4 rows as well. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. That's perfect, and that's good because that's the like top of the school bus. So we want to, on the left and right sides, we want to have black concretes. So leaving gaps of 1, we want to have black concretes running up the side of the school bus on the left and right side, just like this. We then want to place yellow concrete underneath, but essentially all of the black concretes, and we want to run the yellow concretes forward. So just like so. Perfect. So we then want to join the yellow concretes together at the front at the bottom here. Actually, no. Do we want to do that? Okay, so we want to extend the top here forwards by 1 row. So that's kind of like the top of the school bus. It just extends forwards by 1 row. We want to place black stained glass pane underneath that overextended row. We then want to extend the yellow concretes below, just 1 row forwards, with black concrete in between. We then want to extend the black concretes forwards with yellow concrete on the left and right side. We then want to place black concretes. We want to place them parallel to where these black concretes are behind the glass pane blocks, just like this. So underneath the black concretes that are where the glass pane is. And on the back here, they want to be on the 4th row in, if that makes sense. So that's like 1, 2, 3, 4 here. And on the same opposite, but same sides, like 1, 2, 3, 4 opposite, but same place here. And then this is the tricky part, which is, it honestly probably should have started with this, but it's okay. It's not too hard to deal with. We want to place quartz block, or specifically rather quartz slab, smooth quartz slab, as the base of the school bus. So that is like where we're going to place everything on top of, like all of the seats and stuff. So all of this wants to get placed here. It's ever so slightly tricky on the front, but as long as we don't see anything, any sort of like weird gaps, then we're all good. And we've just got this side to do as well. Doing the inside was probably smart. So here we go. And yeah, okay, I'm pretty happy with that. So the end result should look like this. It's not looking too bad. This is shaping up rather nicely. So we're going to place buttons. Those are for the wheels, of course, just to make them look a bit more wheelie, like this. Ladders are for the grill of the school bus. Item frames next to the grill. Item frames at the top of the school bus. We also want a couple of item frames just on the back here. We're just going to have them on the top back corners. And it's time that we grab some different materials. I think that these are the last ones that we're ever going to use. So white concrete, red concrete, oak doors, polished blackstone stairs, levers. So at the back, couple of oak doors so that we can get out of the school bus, most important part. Red concretes in the back set of item frames. White concretes for the headlights. Red concrete for the item frames at the top. And then we need to have a door into the school bus. Oh, we need glass for the windows, but it's okay, we can do that. So we need an entrance into the school bus, which is going to be this door, of course. Okay, so number 1, we need item frames, and number 2, we need black stained glass pane. So the door, so we've got the door. The driver's seat is here, just opposite the door. Lever at the front of the school bus. In front of the driver's seat, an item frame, so kind of like a steering wheel, then a lever for either a gear stick or to open and close the door, whatever. We need to have a few blackstone stairs, kind of just placed behind where the driver's seat is, here, just along the back. And then we just have to fill in the windows using black stained glass pane. And honestly, that is pretty much all there is to it. So that'll end up looking a little something like, let's have a good look at this. It'll end up looking a little something like this. And quite honestly, ladies and gentlemen, that is the statue complete. So this is what your statue will look like once it has been 100% fully completed. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the statue. If you have, please do remember to hit that like button. It really helps me the channel out very much. Subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Click that little bell next to the subscription button, and do make sure that you check out all of the other videos just like this one. I have plenty of other scary and fun related tutorials on the channel, so check those all out. Card system description below. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.